And welcome to St. Andrews Golf Course for the Trinidad and Tobago Open 2022, the 140th edition of this prestigious tournament hosted in Trinidad and Tobago by the TTGA. We're joining you all live on hole number 9, and we see a very powerful group of pros in the frame with Mr. Chris Richards Sr., Mr. Ben Martin, and Mr. Wesley Brown. Three very, very good pros that are on the green right now, trying to finish up hole number 9. And, you know, we probably have a couple favorites in this group to win this competition. And as I said, they've been playing hard golf for the last 2 days. And it's been very, very exciting having these players of this caliber in the tournament. And Mr. Ben Martin was very good of him to actually join us in the commentary booth yesterday. So there we see Mr. Ben Martin in the frame now. He's ensuring that he understands the contours on the green. And on this day 3 could be the deciding day for many players. And it seems to be a different golf course today because yesterday the weather in the morning was very bit rainy, windy. There was actually some time you were not seeing the mountains around this course, this beautiful golf course here at St. Andrews Golf Club. And there's Mr. Chris Richards Sr., one of the top golfers who has dominated golf for many years. And this Saturday, it's called a moving day for golf. I've just been informed by our scorers, learning all the golf jargon here. And Mr. Chris Richards Sr. is very focused, hoping to make a very good putt. Very balanced. And you all know he's one of the top coaches in Trinidad and Tobago for golf for many years. And I believe it's Ben Martin who's going to step up to the ball. And just behind the caddy there, you can see the putter showing there. It's very well balanced. Nice, firm, balanced swing of the golf ball, of the club, sorry. And the pin there is hiding behind one of the sponsors for this tournament. So it's going to be a hard angle from the camera booth here, or the commentary booth, to pick up the green. But definitely you all can follow the scores live on the live leaderboard at ttgolfassociation.org. And we welcome all the viewers to make any comments on the stream and share with your friends and anyone who is interested in golf regionally. We have many regional players in this tournament. And it's a very tense time on that green, and we can get the results shortly. And we see another group. They're also heading out to tee box number 1. And we'll be getting the player list shortly. They've probably just finished their back 9. And looking there at tee box number 10. We have a group of players hitting out there. A very nice shot there. Out into the fairway. And we see there in our picture Mr. Talon Rajendran, one of the pros, will be coming on shortly on hole number 18. Just waiting for the golfers on tee box number 9 to finish up. And this looks like Mr. Pigot. Very strong golfer. And we see some good tees now happening on number 10. And earlier today, prior to our stream, we had a couple of balls heading towards the hills and into the forest. But it's all part of the game of golf. And just to bring you back on the action there, on hole number 9, we see Mr. Ben Martin leading the group off. It may be a sign for later, but the game isn't finished. There's one full day again. And we have there the junior coordinator, Mr. Simon Hussein, driving the golf cart. Just passing a picture. And Mr. Chris Richards Sr. now, with his caddy. I believe that's Miss Jada Charles. Another very, very, very good young golfer, young female golfer from Trinidad and Tobago. Has done very well recently in many tournaments here. And right in the back there with the white hat, Mr. Harun Joseph, one of the most senior golf administrators in Trinidad and Tobago and golf promoters. And they've been followed. So this pro group has been followed by a nice crowd. And that's what golf is about. That's one of the best ways to learn. And I believe that's Mr. Wesley Brown from Jamaica. And we now on tee box number 1. I'm going to take on the action here on tee box number 1. And there we see the practice swings. Such an important part of driving, just to get that right balance. And interestingly, he has an iron out, probably a 4 iron or a 3 iron. I think it's the first time for today we've seen a player using an iron, and a very, very confident, strong shot going down the fairway there on hole number 1. An excellent work there by the cameraman to pick up that ball down the fairway. Young Aviation 2007. Subscribe to his channel. And here we have the next play on tee box number 1. Let's see if we can do the same thing. And just zeroing in a quick view of Mr. Chris Mcmillan, who joined us on the commentary booth yesterday. Switching over to tee box 1. Want to get his tee off. And it's a fade off to the right. He's very angry at that shot. And faded all the way to the right. Hopefully it did not end up on fairway number 9. And there we see Mr. Chris Mcmillan from Tobago. And on the green there, just placed the ball down. Mr. Talon Rajendran playing out of the Point of View Golf Club. And Mr. Chris Mcmillan, is he in the bunker? Seems to be in the bunker. Hopefully he'll get it out. And for the viewers out there, we still haven't seen a very attractive shot going straight into the hole from outside the green. Very nice soft shot going uphill a bit. So it's very difficult to judge the pace of that green. And I think the real battle starts now with this pro group. And we see the examinations happening on the green where they have to look at the contours. And we want to welcome one of our sponsors on the stream, Evergreen Designs, congratulating Aviator 2007. And I think that's supposed to be Aviation 2007 on his camera work. I'm just taking a quick look there at the approach shot to green number 9 coming up there. Switching back over to green number 18 with this group, this pro group. With Chris Mcmillan, Mr. Anthony Gill, and Talin Rajendranath. A very competitive group. And you can see all the discussions happening. This is the time you don't want to make any mistakes. We want to make sure that it's accurate. And I believe they're waiting for the tee box number 10 to go off. The group with Wesley Brown, Ben Martin, and Mr. Chris Richards Sr. Again, a very powerful group of pro golfers going out there. And what we've noticed with this tournament over the last 3 days that there've been very, very good camaraderie among the players. And we see here Mr. Anthony Gill just rolling the ball down towards the flag. And just going back over to Chris Richards Sr. for his drive on tee box 10. And if we could take a look at that drive there on tee box number 10 with Ben Martin. Just by looking at these top golfers, we can learn so much about their stance and their focus, and just even the sound of the ball. And he has an iron in his hand, perhaps probably a 4 or 5 iron, just to get it over that treacherous gully that so many people have ended up into. And back on the greens here at number 18, Chris Mcmillan again, taking aim, and you can see the hole in the distance there. And roll it very nicely, trying to get that break. But again, it has proven to be such a difficult green over the last 3 days. And just taps it in. And we have now Mr. Anthony Gill placing his ball on the ground. Examines the contours on the green, and for those looking on who may not know much about golf, although the ball looks so close to the pin, the contours on the green are sometimes so difficult that they have to be able to understand and read that green, what it does. And he's very a bit disappointed he didn't get that shot. And we're going to take you over quickly to camera 4, looking on fairway number 1. After that same golfer uses an iron on the tee off and takes it up. Again, excellent work there by our cameraman to pick up that ball. So the ball lands just to the right of the bunker. And it's not a bad shot. I mean, definitely would have loved to go onto the green. Back on hole number 18, Mr. Talin Rajendranath just stopped seeing the ball. And his father has supported him for so many years over his career. And he's his caddy as well and coach. And there's also another group now on green number 9, but we have some action happening there on the approach for hole number 18. Very nice shot. It looks pretty good. Will it make it over the gully? Yes, excellent shot there onto the green, and that deserves a round of applause. I think the crowd really enjoyed that. And that looks like the group. We're just getting the names here. That looks like the group with Kriston Batiste, Luke De Freitas, and Richard Gibson, I believe. We'll confirm that shortly. And that one probably went out of bounds. Oh, very good. Did it go? And the excellent work about another cameraman, Mr. Sigobin, picking up the ball there and just confirming that he is safe. And very shortly, we'll be joined on tee box number 1 with the pro group. And you see that the pace of play seems to be very good. That's Talin Rajendranath there, the lefty. Just refreshing what he's probably done wrong on the greens, trying to get it correct for this front 9. And a very exciting evening of golf here at the St. Andrews Golf Club in Mocha. Lots happening. And just waiting patiently for some of the golfers to advance down the course. And there's the pro group that will be taking tee shortly. And we see some action there on coming off of hole number 9. Another group that just finished that front 9. And remember, you can follow the scores live on ttgolfassociation.org. And on that, you can see the score center and view the individual scores. Something very important for the players and for the spectators. Just want to shout out Mr. Ashmead Ali, who's locked on the stream. So we've seen there Mr. Chris Mcmillan. He'll be teeing off on the front nine. And looking at these pros playing, it definitely is a very inspirational opportunity for young golfers to look on. We have Mr. Talin Rajendran, who plays out for the Point Up Here Golf Club. And we've just been joined in the commentary booth with Mr. Ken Ferguson, the director of one of the sponsors, the Kenson Group of Companies, and also the chairman of the Point Up Here Golf Club. So, Mr. Ferguson, how has the tournament been so far for you? I know you are a participant as well.
Well, first of all, let me say a good afternoon to all your viewers. And I must say, well, today is the first day I played in the Masters, and it was a bit tiring for me at Masters at 77 years. Yeah. It's not easy. But I like to take the opportunity to congratulate Novel Sports for the tremendous work they have been doing in bringing this thing live to people's home. I think it's a first, so you all must be commended for that.
And thank you, Mr. Ferguson, for your support over the last few months in getting this to a reality, because this is the most prestigious tournament in Trinidad and Tobago. And definitely you've seen a lot of sponsors that came on board. And how has the sponsorship helped in making this a reality?
Well, if we didn't have sponsorship, we would not be able to host this event. It's a very costly event, and it's glad to see so many companies come forward to support. Kenson always supports sports, one of the things that we do, our social responsibility. We did a lot, sponsor a lot in the athletics, and also, of course, in the golf. I must say that apart from sponsoring the tournament itself, Kenson individually sponsor one of the top players here. We're playing on the course now, John Hearns, right? So I'm very happy to see that where you can say money is well spent, because I understand the young man is playing very well.
And Mr. Ferguson, you've touched on a really critical point about sponsorship. We see in coming out of the pandemic, yes, people has been starved for sport. And just looking on number 18 there, Mr. Christon Batiste is being cheered on, finishing his spot. And yes, Mr. Ferguson, sponsorship is so important coming out of the pandemic. And this tournament has been such a success over the last few days. We have so many people from different countries. In fact, joining us in the booth, the commentary booth, we had the president of the Jamaica Association, the president of the Bahamas Association, and so many other foreigners, the people from Antigua and so on. And it was really good to see that networking. And how important do you think that the touring players are important to this competition?
Well, I think it's extremely important, especially in the Caribbean, because when I look at it really, the golfers have to look at something to play towards, and just playing among themselves is not motivating. And if we could organize a tournament, a Caribbean tournament, and have an annual or maybe semi-annual, especially where the youths can go and play in Jamaica and play in Barbados, and we rotate it. And out of those groups, maybe, who knows, we may get one or two good enough to join the PGA.
Yes, and I think I like the sound of that, the PGA.
Yes.
We really want to see more of the pros and more of the young players getting up there in that avenue, so they could open doors for the other youngsters coming up. And speaking about youngsters, we know your involvement at Point Up Here has been phenomenal over the last few years, and it's such an active kiddies program, such an active junior program. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, sure. We realize that, so we have been starved for golfers, so you want to open it up to a lot of the youths within the community and beyond. And this is the reason why we have started. I must thank Director Juliana Budra. She is in charge of that. And then we have the youths also. And some of them join without, we sponsor them. They don't have to pay, So, it's an expensive game. So we're doing what we can to motivate them and get them to come out and meet with the most senior golfers.
And I think, at your involvement, where you have been around golf for such a long time, we've heard similar sentiments being expressed by our comrades in Jamaica, in Bahamas, in Barbados, and Antigua, where they're trying to get those kiddies programs off and going. And what we really like is although it's an expensive sport, you're able to get it available and affordable for the youngsters, because that has definitely been a hindrance to youngsters, and it's also very time consuming. And as a seasoned golfer yourself, what advice would you give to the up and coming youngsters of this game?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it. It's very time consuming, and you're so correct. As a matter of fact, I'm pushing, I'm thinking out of the box. And there is no reason why we can have a G9, just like you have a T20.
Right.
Test cricket is, well, you have countries still playing the test cricket, but look at the attendance drop off. So they go on to a T20. So I think most of the golf clubs is a 9 hole. So why can't we have a G9?
Yes, and I
You
think
know, you come out to play a 18 hole is practically the whole day.
yes,
You understand? You have to move early, and you play it on your foot. You're on your foot for most of our golfers are age golfers, and I think if we start a G9, I think we'll encourage a lot of the age golfers to come out, and maybe the youngsters too, because then they'll have some more time, to do other activities.
yes,
You know what I mean?
and that's a very good approach to it, because you learn from the other sports that have that has adopted a shorter version. And definitely, I think it's something will encourage many more youngsters to get involved, because they have to balance school, their
Exactly.
studies, and they want to play. It's just the time. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly.
so that's a brilliant idea, and I hope something that definitely you all will put in place, get it to the right channels, and I mean, you have a very powerful lineup of sponsors for this tournament, and I'm sure that they will be more than willing to support something like that.
Yeah, I'm getting good support. As a matter of fact, this idea was read by me and also Samai, who is the president of BC. So we intend to kick it off maybe sometime next month, either in BC or in Point Pierre.
Right. So, Mr. Ferguson, I just want to congratulate you again for all that you have done for golf, and I know you're heavily involved in this tournament as well. Thank you for your time, and I really thank you also for taking the time off after your round today to join us in the commentary booth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much, sir. Well done, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, taking you all back to the action on the golf course, we're looking on camera. Looking there at a grouping just finished on hole number 9. And I recognize Zico Correa, Adrian Norford, and Chris Richards Jr., two of the most powerful junior golfers in Trinidad and Tobago. They just finished their front 9. And it's so good to see the youngsters making it to this level, and they basically in this tournament competing at a regional level with so many regional players presently here. Taking you over to camera 3. We see in one frame a golfer, rangefinder, a caddy, and a golf cart. Some of the more exciting times here at the golf course. And what we've really seen is that focus by these golfers to make it happen, to make the shot happen. And he's probably attacking the green, is he? Or will he lay up before? And taking you all quickly to tee box number 1. And that's the group with Mr. Kriston Batiste. Just going to find the other names who's in that group. Looks to be a pretty good tee shot. And that's Richard Gibson and Luke De Freitas. That's Luke De Freitas now in the frame. He's taking a stance. And a very slight fade. It's not straight, but a slight fade just to keep it controlled in the fairway. And now they move out, heading out to the ball on fairway number 1. So we have here this group. They'll be approaching number 18 green. Just want to mention our sponsors for the live streaming section. Evergreen Designs, Let's Learn Golf Tobago, Ashmead Ali Contracting Services Limited, Ashnad Foundation, Online Valves Limited, ECT Solutions Limited, who has also provided the power, this battery power for our system here and our setup. Treasure Chest, Beyond Paint Limited, Building HSC Limited, DS Movers Limited, all contributing to making this a success. And looking on here at the approach shot on number 18, such an exciting finish we hope to have. Very good shot to come onto the green. Hopefully can make it in. I just want to shout out Mr. Shiraz Debidin. And Illusions Mask. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks very much for the support. We hope you all stay locked on and you can share the stream with your friends. Following the action there with the group with Zico Correa, Chris Richards Jr. and Adrian Norford heading up onto the back nine now. And the feedback we've been getting for the day is that the back nine is a little more difficult. And the golfers out there who play at St. Andrews Golf Club could probably message and tell us how difficult is the back nine compared to the front nine. And there on number 18, we have group finishing up. Finishing up the back nine, which is going to be, as has proven in the last couple of days, to be very difficult. And it's all about control and speed. Get a wide.
Hope you all saw my best hole of the day. It was a par on number 18.
We've just been joined here in the commentary booth with Mr. Dave Cameron, and he's telling us the good news that he parred number 18, and definitely something to be proud of because number 18 has proven to be such a difficult hole. And always great to have these expert golfers join us at the commentary booth. Welcome, Mr. Cameron.
Good afternoon, sir, and thank you very much for having me again.
It's very good that you came to the commentary after all this, after your 18 hole. How was it today on the course?
Today was not bad. I mean, actually, I hit the ball better than I've done all week, but somehow I didn't score, so I came off again 14 over.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Today I played 18 smarter. First 2 days I hit 3-wood driver. Today I hit a rescue at 162 yards, and that made sense.
So I think you had some time to reflect last night on your game and re-strategize for today.
It's still same score.
It happens. It happens. And you know, definitely, it's something that for tomorrow, the final day, it's going to be probably a little more difficult because I know these golfers are coming hard, and with the hope that the fortunes can turn. And what's your predictions for tomorrow?
Well, I hope the winners win, but no, I feel I'm gonna play better tomorrow. The game feel like it's running out into shape, and I feel like like I said, I hit the ball better today on the back nine, so I feel like the scores are coming together.
And we see here in the frame Mr. Shane Costello. He was the national captain last year. And he's joined there by Demar James and Raymond Percival in this grouping. And is he going to take an aggressive shot onto the green or lay it up? So, Mr. Carman, we've seen so many people on this
Oh,
treacherous
he's on the green.
hole 18. Very good shot.
On top of the hole, it's going to be a little quick from that side.
Yes.
Number 18 is playing very, very tricky. You need to be below the pin.
So I've been informed by our scorers today that we heard another score coming in. Joshua De Silva scoring 100 in about 200 and plus what? 257 balls.
Yes, very well, maiden century. And what a time to do it. And then I think England is something like 40 for 4 with Kyle Mayer's 3-4 spit in about 6 overs. So Weston is doing well.
And I think that definitely, Joshua De Silva also plays golf.
Does he?
Okay. It's probably helping his game as well. So on the golf course, we're going to take you all to tee box number 1, where we have this group here. They're going to be starting the front 9. And, it's late in the afternoon now at St. Andrews. And the weather is very cool. The breeze is not gusting as it did the last few days. It went up to the right. We still have a shot there, but definitely would have probably liked it to go a bit straighter. But I've been told that this St. Andrews golf course is known as on the right of fairway number 1 is the fast lane. Did you hear that secret, Mr. Cameron?
I was told that. I think all 3 days I parred this hole, so it's not been too difficult for me.
And it's always great to have champion golfers with us. I've noticed you've only telling us the past scores.
Yes.
Very good.
only the good holes.
Very good. And I guess that's the positive energy we want to keep throughout the day.
Absolutely. You don't remember those ones that you didn't do so well at.
I don't think those are important, isn't it?
And we see the leader group in the seniors coming through by our tent here. Mr. Mark Newnham, the president, Mr. Baptiste, Mr. Dave Raj Kumar, all heading to number 10.
I'm just going to take you all over to...
And Derek Charles Gonzalez.
And on green number 18, the battle is on with the group with Shane Costello. Demar James and Raymond Percival.
Maybe this is a good time to explain to the listeners and viewers the difference between the pros, the championships, supers, and seniors.
Sure. So the professionals, they would have the different handicap ratings, and those are the ones who, basically play golf as a living, and they are the ones that they be competing for the big prize money here at this TTOpen. And the other groupings in this competition will be the champs, the supers, and the super seniors. And the green number 18 has been a very tense time. Some golfers that probably just want to finish and go off and have lunch, but they know it's also the start of the next day, that once they finish strong they can come on to day 4 and have a good start. It has a lot to do with the mental confidence that it puts into the game. So, Mr. Carman, what's your strategy for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have more fun.
More fun. I think that is the general consensus of most people, in that by day 3, the end of day 3, we may know or have a good idea of the results.
And the truth is, the golf course has been it's been really playing well. It's been challenging, the pin placements. So I think we've had a good time. And I've been blessed to have played with some really good guys. Played with Peter McIntosh out of the Bahamas. and John Henry today of Trinidad and Tobago, and Zeke's out of St. Kitts. So we really had a good time, and that's what golf is all about. It's really you're playing partners and everybody having a good time and making sure that we're all comfortable.
I think definitely it is one of the biggest successes of this tournament. We two in the commentary booth have been joined by some very influential persons, very excellent golfers. We want to probably talk to some of the pros, to get their opinions and the ideas of the game.
Absolutely.
And I think that's invaluable to share with the listening public.
And obviously, if there's a way and how you can improve the Open and improve golf in Trinidad. So yeah, you need to speak to some of the pros who have joined us here.
I know one of the things with the sport of golf, when you look at the other sports, just last night we were fortunate to attend the Trinidad and Tobago versus Barbados football tournament, football game at the National Stadium here. And fortunately, Trinidad and Tobago won 9-0. But in this golf tournament, you see many different nationalities represented here on one day. And that is the good thing about golf. You can have that relationship building and that camaraderie between the different countries. And tee box number 1, the players are just going out there, probably looking for their ball to get the approach shot going. I'm looking at this golfer. We'll get his name shortly, but he's coming around the bend on hole number 18. Is he going to attack the green or is he going to lay it up before the gully?
No, he's into the green, and that again is on top.
And again, a very good position to be. I think at that approach, you really have a very important decision to make. Do I attack the green or I just play it safe?
Well, once you
So at this point, the making that decision is so important. That decision making is so important to the success in finishing that 18 hole. That you want to make sure that you get the necessary advice, you are calm, you have a good ability to think through your strategy, because there's a next day tomorrow to finish up. So we're joined in the commentary booth by Mr. Anthony White, a very senior member here at the St. Andrews Golf Club, and I've been told that he's very knowledgeable in understanding the evolution of St. Andrews Golf Course. And welcome, Mr. White, and thank you for joining us for this afternoon to share your thoughts on St. Andrews.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the golf course. I mean, it's hosting the most prestigious event in Trinidad and Tobago and one of the most prestigious events in the Caribbean. And you have so many regional players coming in, all giving positive feedback on the course and the scenery and so on. So can you give us a brief history on the course?
The history of St. Andrew's Golf Club itself is a long one, and it begins in 1891. So this club actually is going to be 131 years old this year. It's actually the same number of years in age as the Queen's Park Cricket Club.
You know, I've always won. Sorry.
The Open is being played here in Mocha, and this golf course here in Mocha is actually the fourth home of St. Andrew's Golf Club. Golf has been played on 3 other courses before.
You know, that's phenomenal. 131 years. You know, I actually speaking to my colleagues earlier this week, I was wondering what it was like to play golf back in those days. And could you tell us how they used to cut the fairways in those days?
Well, it all began in 1891 by a group of Scottish businessmen who they were yearning for the passion of their homeland, the biggest sport in their homeland, which is golf. And they came upon a piece of land that today is occupied by the Holy Name Convent. And it was lying fallow, I should say, not being used. And they approached the owners of the land and asked if they could cut the grass and hit a few golf shots on the parcel of land. And that permission was given. And the Scottish businessmen began to hit balls. And that was prior to 1891. I'm not sure, no one really knows what year they went into that lot of land. But they were there for a couple of years. Maybe, the old people told me maybe 2 or 3 before 1891. And in 1891, a lot of Trinidadians had pulled up in their buggies and their cars and their carts and asked if they could join, and they were welcomed with open arms. And eventually, the group of golfers, or want-to-be golfers, approached the British governor to allow them to lay down a 9-hole golf course in the savannah. And permission was given, and they laid out their 9-hole golf course in the savannah and played there from 1891 to 1928. 37 years.
Very good.
They played in the savannah.
That's an amazing piece of history because we know the Queen's Park Savannah now for cricket. And I wonder if the sand wickets there were part of the bunkers from before.
Actually, no. The very old pictures that do exist of golf in the savannah, I don't believe I've ever really seen a bunker. But they certainly had 9 holes laid out. It was a circular track. The committee at the Trinidad Turf Club, the horse racing people, allowed them to use their clubhouse when it was built. Before that, they used the old Queen's Park Hotel. They were given permission to use a couple of rooms there as their clubhouse. And then they used the Turf Club, the racehorse men's clubhouse. But of course, all the racehorse men wanted to play golf too, so they were very happy to do that.
So is St. Andrews the first golf club in Trinidad and Tobago?
Absolutely. Absolutely the first.
And that is something, an excellent piece of history. So I feel privileged to be sitting here today. And, you know, this is the first time probably golf is being streamed live. And we've actually created two pieces of history here together because it's a really historical course. And so at what year did it reach Tomoka?
Well, I could give you the whole story in chronological order.
Yeah.
After the governor put them out of the savannah because of complaints from the cricketers, footballers, hockey players, all the other sports people, they rented a few acres of land where the Federation Park development is today, and also the 2 playing fields of the police barracks at St. James. And that was the second home. Again, only 9 holes of golf. And they were there from 1928 to 1938, 10 years. when again they were called upon to vacate the premises. And that is when the committee had to get very, very serious. And they got together and decided among themselves that if they did not secure their own tenure, golf would certainly die in Trinidad. And some very good men, I'm proud to say my grandfather, Robert Matthew Celia, was among them.
Yeah.
He and Mr. McBride, Mr. De Bossier, they spearheaded the thrust to get the members to vote and put down their hard-earned cash to buy 75 acres of land at La Saiva from the De Bossier family.
Right.
And they said they wanted to make it 18 holes, and they wanted it to be designed by a known architect. And Mr. George de Nobrega, most famous for horse racing, when he went up to the Royal Ascot races in 1938, he went and saw Harry Colt, who was the premier English golf architect of the day. And Harry Colt was so intrigued by the story he was given that he said he would design a course for free.
Very good.
And he made a big model, created up the model, and sent the model to Trinidad. They, of course, had sent him the aerial photographs and the government cadastral sheets. And Colt made the model. Colt never actually came to Trinidad.
Okay.
The members went out
And reached out to him.
with their own surveyors and their own labor and built Colt's course at La Saiva. And it was a very nice little course.
And I know that speaking to you, I'm feeling I'm speaking to a historian. You know, you
Not
always-
really. I'm just a retired airline pilot. That's
Right,
all I
okay.
am.
Well, we have a young aspiring pilot right behind you, and he's very into aviation. And you know, it's really phenomenal to hear that story, because you hear so much about St. Andrews when you travel in the Caribbean. And in fact, over the last 3 days, we've had many players come to the contribute and commend the condition of the course, the design of the course. They've spoken about the decision making that is so critical on the course. And I guess a guy with your experience, do you play golf as well?
Yes, I had my days. I originally was a lawn tennis player as a junior, but when I was 21, and I joined St. Andrews, and I played a lot of golf here.
And do you have the secrets of St. Andrews in your back pocket?
I don't know that anyone will ever have any secrets of any golf course really in their back pocket, but I do know a lot about this golf course for sure.
Right. I've been told that on fairway number 1, it's a fast lane on the right side. Is that true?
Absolutely. I believe it was the very, very fine golfer Teddy Grell that coined that name and gave it that name.
And I've also heard that moving Saturday. So it's Saturday the moving day here at St. Andrews as well.
Well, that is a term that was coined by the Americans,
Yeah.
maybe in the 40s or the 50s, and it's been adopted worldwide.
Yeah, you know, and sitting here in the contribute, we're looking at down fairway number 1, and I was really wondering that so many golfers were hitting down the right side, and I guess they were trying to get more carry. And do you think, like yesterday with the inclement weather we had, did you think it affected the playability of the course?
I don't think enough rain fell yesterday to materially affect the way the course played. Well, I myself played in many, many opens here where umbrellas were out and serious rain and mud was abounding.
And I think definitely, you know, one very good commendation that you all got was the condition of the greens. People did say it was fast, but it was definitely very, very competitive. And we did see it here. I mean, we are fortunate to have the live feed coming in, so we did see the competition on the greens. It wasn't easy, but the contours on the green and the golfers had to exercise a lot of patience to make sure and good decision making. And I think one thing was of great entertainment was that gully
Yes.
just before number 18. I mean, we could have made a very good funny video of the golfers going into that gully, but it's all part of the game. And was that gully part of the original design of the course?
That gully, as you put it, is actually the Maraval River.
Oh, very good.
It begins just up there. The top of the back nine is where the Maraval River begins, and that is the actual Maraval River, yeah.
Right, and I've actually
So that was always a feature of the golf course.
right, and so you all would have maintained some of the natural aspects of the landscape during the design.
Yes, again, the move from the 18-hole golf course at La Saiva it was made, as I was told by the old timers, because Jamaica, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, they were all building or having built or developers building big, long American style golf courses on those islands. And the feeling was in Trinidad golf. And Trinidad was the forerunner of the original Hormone Cup competition. It was started between Trinidad and Jamaica, and they naturally, as more countries joined, they always sort of finished first and second in the early days.
Yeah.
And the feeling was Jamaica, with lots of big American style courses being built, would soon outstrip the Trinidad boys who were playing on a much shorter golf course at La Ceiba.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get an American style golf course built. And that is by the reason they had a vote. The vote was extremely close. It was a close run vote, and the vote was to come here. And again, they hired a very, very well known architect, Commander John Harris, who built Mount Irving Bay in Tobago
Right.
and Runaway Bay in Jamaica. Commander Harris built 420 courses during his
Wow.
career,
That's amazing, and lucky to have some here, right? Well, right here
all,
in Trinidad
all
and
over the
Tobago.
world. And his partner was the great Australian Peter Thompson, who won the British Open 5 times as a player.
Right.
So this is a Harris Thompson golf course, which is an extremely prestigious thing to say that you have on your property.
Yeah, you know, Mr. White, the history you're sharing with us, I don't know if you have ever documented it before.
What I am saying is what I have read.
Right.
My uncle John Sellier, my mother's brother,
Yeah.
he was the son of Bobby Sellier, who made the move to buy La Ceiba in the first place,
Right.
and he became Trinidad's perennial champion. He won the Trinidad Open 5 times
Very good.
at La Ceiba.
Very good.
You
And you know,
know?
it is something now. Your story has been recorded on YouTube, so I think after it's going to be shared globally, and hopefully, it's going to influence some sports tourism. We see now how important that is going to be to the development of golf, and even for the very last few days, it's amazing to see the amount of regional players here, foreigners here, and I can only see this getting bigger and better for the 115th edition next year, and growing from strength to strength.
Good. I'm glad you have that enthusiasm for the game.
Yeah.
It is what the game needs.
Yes, and
But I would like to commend the present management committee and the ones that preceded it for really making a big effort, even in these hard times and financial times, and with the COVID as well, for the tremendous amount of hard work that has been put in to keeping this golf course in really nice condition, as you can see here today.
yeah. All right, Mr. White, so we want to thank you very much. We really appreciate your time and the story you've shared. It's something definitely I would encourage as much young golfers to listen to, so that they can grasp a true appreciation of what went into getting golf up to where it is in Trinidad and Tobago. And even now, you talk to any golfer in Trinidad, their aspiration is to play at Mocha. And I myself have not made it on the course as yet, so hopefully in due course I'll get the opportunity. But again, thanks again on behalf of Novel Sports and on behalf of the live stream, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So I want to thank Mr. White again for that piece of history, and just want to take the opportunity to just share just to mention our sponsors who have made this live stream possible. Eden K Properties Limited, Treasure Chest, Kennicon Engineering Limited, Solar World, Building HSC Limited, Beyond Paint, Evergreen Designs, Builders Incorporated Limited, DS Movers Limited, Kennicon Engineering Limited, Online Valves Limited, Let's Learn Golf Tobago, SRF Auto Repair Service, Ashnad Foundation, and Ashmead Ali Contracting. And just and very shortly we'll be streaming an interview with one of the young golfers from Trinidad participating in this tournament. But we're going to look at this shot here to go over number 18, enter number 18 green, and a very good shot there. Very gentle lob onto the green. And this group in the super seniors, Mr. Sulaiman Juman, Mr. Richard Lara, and Mr. Jalim Ramnarain. Some very famous names here in the local golf circuit. And we'll be taking on the action here on green number 18. And just now there'll be another group coming on to tee box number 1. I'm just looking at one of our sponsors, ECT Solar World. And that's Mr. Richard Lara there in the green jersey. Is he in the bunker? Well, looks to be there, and have to hit a very strong shot now to get out of the bunker and as close to the flag as possible. And just switching over shortly to tee box number 1. And he's out of the bunker, yes, but a bit disappointed that it didn't go a little bit further up the green. And his colleague here will now be placing his mark on the ground to have a good look at that pot opportunity. And just switching quickly over to tee box number 1. Get a drive there and a very unique technique we saw there in driving. And that's the group with Mr. Shabir Khan. Neil Mohammed and Sarwan Ragbir. That's the group going off on the front 9. And very good shot down the fairway. On tee box number 1. And now we have Mr. Shabir Khan, who steps up to the tee box. And he'll be taking his stance now. We'll take up a very important warm-up stroke, which is so critical for this getting his tee off. And swings, hits it straight and low down the fairway. A very sensible shot there, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with that stroke. And finishing up this hole number 18. Again, it's always been a tough hole, but I think the players will just be happy to finish it strongly. And rolls it in and just to the left of the pin. I just want to mention the viewers, Mr. Shiva Deuki Singh, put in a 100. I guess that's the score. And let's hope it's 100 not out. And Miss Sasha Duri, thanks for the support, Sasha. And talking about the great coverage. And we have that group there going out on hole number 10 now. And we see a buzz of activity around the golf course. And just having a look at the golf club. And you can see many people enjoying the ambience at the golf club. And you're just looking to get something to eat, some light refreshments. And we'll be taking you over now to an interview with one of the young golfers today, Mr. Alex Kang, who played for Trinidad and Tobago on the national team.
All right, and welcome again to the Trinidad and Tobago Golf Open Tournament. It's day 3. The sun is hot today in stark comparison to what we felt for the last few days. We're lucky to have a junior golfer here with us, Mr. Alex Kang. Alex, how are you feeling this afternoon?
I'm feeling quite well. Sun is quite hot. Just a nice day to play golf.
Okay. Yeah.
And just apologizing there, that was the blooper. But I think we have the right video coming up here now. And we'll be sharing it shortly with the viewers. As you all can tell, streaming is not a perfect Welcome back here to the live stream at the TTOpen in St. Andrews Golf Club in Mocha Maraval. We'll be having a slight break here now because there's a little lull of activities on the golf course. And just one team teeing off on the front nine, just as we taking the action there on hole number 4. We'll be taking a look at the live leaderboard very shortly. And there we see this group. They're getting prepared to start the back nine. And this golfer, he's hitting low and straight and very interestingly teed off from the extreme left of that tee box, which is a very good strategy because it paid off. And a very good shot going down in the middle of the fairway. And that was Mr. Richard Lara, who just got that shot down there. And we have Mr. Jalen Ramnarine going to take his shot there on tee box number 1. Take that ever important golf swing to warm up. Focuses, looks down the fairway and swings and pulls it left, but it's a nice gentle fade back out, which takes him just on the left of the fairway. And they will head down now to find their ball. And we'll be taking a look at the live leaderboard for a while. And while we take a break here at the commentary booth, you all can get up to date with the scores coming in from the golf course.
and welcome again to the Trinidad and Tobago Golf Open on this fine, hot, sunny day. It's day 3, and we are lucky to have with us here junior golfer Alex Kang. Alex, how are you feeling this afternoon?
I'm feeling quite well. It's nice and sunny. It's a nice day to play golf.
Well, every day is a nice day to play golf, isn't it, right?
Yep.
So, Alex, you look like a young golfer that's, well into the game. Can you give me a bit of history into how long you've been playing, what school you're attending?
I've been playing for 5 years and I attend Naprima College.
That's a very fantastic school. I myself are a graduate of Naprima College. And did you know that the entire Novel Sports Stream team comprises of an entire Naprima College alumni?
Oh, I never knew that.
Does that make you feel proud to be a Naprima College alumni?
Yes, it does.
All right, now back to golf. So, Alex, we've had some grueling days. How are you faring for the final day tomorrow?
It's been tough. I think for everyone in the field, the greens are, well, they're not particularly fast, but they're slick. There's a lot of break. It's just tough. It's films ground. It's just tough conditions to play golf, but I think tomorrow might be better.
Yeah, we always look forward for a better day. So, Alex, I have one question for you. Being, a student and being so really good in golf, commitment, of course, and dedication is going to be part of your regular schedule. How do you handle that and your workload on your studies?
Well, to be honest, it's quite tough. Go to school from 8 to 2:30, then go to the golf course until 6 o'clock, then come home and study from 7 to around 10, half 10. It's just really tough to balance off school and trying to pursue a sport. So they just call time management is key, I guess.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And, coming from a youngster like yourself, I know even some adults have extreme problems with time management. So, Alex, I want to wish you all the best. I want to say congratulations on reaching this far. I commend you for keeping the school as well as your love for the sport in check and in gear. So, all the best, Alex. And one last final parting words for all the youngsters or the juniors who might be considering, entering into the sport of golf.
I find it is a fantastic sport. You meet a lot of nice people, make a lot of good friendships. And even though golf is a hard game, so it's nice to be close to someone so you can share your opinions, your life goals, your ambitions, and just have a good time out there.
Wow. Brilliant words here from our young golfer, Alex Kang. Back to you in the studio.
Welcome back to St. Andrews Golf Club. On the back nine, we have a representative from Antigua, which is approach shot to hole number 18. And he hits the ball and it lands just before the gully there. It's just out of the frame now, but hopefully it did not roll down. Looks a bit safe. And we have an ex-player now. We'll be getting their name shortly. A very confident shot there on his approach to hole number 9, and he puts it onto the green. What a brilliant shot there. And definitely some good golfers in this group. And you have the last player in this group with his approach shot to hole number 18. And a very large divot there. Generated a lot of spin. And almost in the same position as the pin as yesterday, day 2, but it's slightly off to the right. And it's going to come back on. They're going to go on to the green now to finish the putt. And hopefully finish strongly. And we can see that patriotism there by the Antiguan player. Very well dressed, representing his country proudly. So we see here now the players are going to be looking for the ball. And the ball has just landed very close to the step. And we see there the match official, Mr. Paul Ramcharan, is keeping a close eye. And he's looking closely. And he just pitches the ball out onto the green. Just on the right of the green, sorry. And a very nice relaxed chip up just to make sure that he's there. And you know, now is the time very important that they have to arrive onto the green. And chips it on now there. Again, judging the pace of the screen is very critical. And just it's very fast. So they have to be able to control that speed and exercise a lot of discipline on the screen. And you know, this hole number 18 approach is very difficult, as we've seen all day yesterday. Taking over some action on hole number 1 tee off, where the players have just left that group and out to the green. And Mr. Brett Fortune there in the cart, ably assisting. Going back onto green number 18, but the battle has just started. And a pretty long putt there, probably about 15 to 20 feet away from the pin. And very balanced individual. We can run it upward, slightly upward putt. And it's just to the left, exclaiming as he was expecting it to fall into the cup. But again, we've seen so many times in this wonderful game of golf that it's very difficult to get into that cup. And let's hope these golfers can finish strongly on this hole, looking slightly downhill or down the slope. You'll have to use a bit of gravity to assist him to let it go into that hole there. This little push downhill, and it's in the hole. An excellent putt there after ending up in a very tricky position on the side of the staircase. And now we have the final competitor in this group. We'll be trying to get it in this spot. Very good roll. And just to the left, looks slightly upwards to the skies in disappointment. And that's one extra shot he'll have to put on the scorecard. But again, that's how it goes. Can't afford to miss. I'd like to shout out all the persons looking on from Antigua. Well represented here in Trinidad and Tobago. And he pushes it in and he finishes. And very relieved at that finish there. And again, we can see the camaraderie between the competitors. And one thing this tournament has brought, it has brought a lot of nationalities together in this most prestigious tournament in Trinidad and Tobago. And definitely something to look forward to for the rest of the day in that networking and building everyone and the camaraderie. And that was a pre-recorded video from this morning when we had some of the golfers coming out there to finish up the court, finish up hole number 18. And we'll be showing some other pre-recorded videos of the action this morning, which we were able to capture. And we hope the viewers are still locked on. I want to wish the boys from St. Kitts all the best in this tournament, and tomorrow's the final day. And hopefully they can do extremely well tomorrow as well. Looking for a fun day and a very exciting day tomorrow of golf. And you can see the gentle breeze, and a good indication is the Trinidad and Tobago national flag as to how the breeze is gusting. And over the last few days, you had some very unusual weather, but what we've been told that in the valley here in Maracas, in Mocha Valley, it's sometimes very, very unpredictable. And it changes sometimes during the day quickly without a moment's notice. And we'll be taking you all back to some action this morning from hole number 18, where we had a group coming in with Mr. Alex Kangu. Welcome back to the St. Andrews Golf Club. On hole number 18, we have the youngster, Mr. Alex Kangu, using his rangefinder now to measure that critical distance coming around the bend, and ably supported by his dad. And in our picture now with the blue jersey, Mr. Aidan Ali, another very good golfer from Trinidad. And his caddy is also his brother. So we see that combination of family coming into play, that making their adolescence career very successful. And hopefully we're going to see a very strong finish on hole number 18. And there we have a visitor from Antigua, Mr. Kareem, a very nice guy. We met him earlier today. And we're going to be trying to get the shot there from Mr. Alex Kangu. I believe he's just behind the tree. And hopefully we'll be able to pick it up going on to number 18. So just some last minute advice from his caddy, Mr. Kangu, Mr. Richie Kangu, a golfer himself. And then Mr. Alex takes his mark, and it looks as a low punch to go over the gully. Did he make it? It's straight in the gully, my goodness. And he'll be very disappointed with that shot. And I think that is something that, he'll probably have a discussion with his dad just to figure out what went wrong, because he went very aggressively there, and, perhaps other golfers would have gone, but just before that gully. And now we have Mr. Aidan Ali. He's in the frame. And he's in the bunker, probably using probably a 60 or 56. A very strong shot out of the bunker. And Amazing. Straight into the next bunker on the side of hole number 18. Straight onto number 18. And he may be a bit disappointed, but you know what? The first hurdle is over the gully. And at least he has an easier shot going onto the green. So we're just going to pull up the other names of the players in this group. And we see here the weather at St. Andrews is very, very good this morning. It's very bright, it's very sunny. And we have very good participation. Here we have Mr. Kareem from Antigua, representing Antigua and Barbuda. And a very strong looking athlete. Wearing a cricket hat, or is it a golf hat? Some people will say. And let's see what he does with this shot. It seems to be a very competitive group. And he takes his stance here on this day 3 of the TNT Open. A very smooth swing. And lands it on the center of the green and just rolls slightly back, but a very good shot. And that first hurdle is something very good that, just to get over is very important. And hopefully we're going to be able to finish the hole very strongly. And you see the youngsters, they're passing. And we have Mr. Jonathan Doherty and looks like Desron Ambrose, Eden Ali and Alex Kangu. That's the 4 in this group, and they're finishing the back 9, and then they'll go into the front 9. So there we have Mr. Alex Kangu now. He has to hit out of the gully, and he will be able to use a drop ball. And you have Alex, very good golfer. He sized up shot and slightly controlled. He probably a slight miss hit there, and he's a bit disappointed. But that's the game of golf, and it's on the green now, so he'll have to pick up, and hopefully he can have a finish with a strong putt. And he's a strong player for a youngster. And he'll head over to the green now. And we have Mr. young Aidan Ali at the back of the green on the bunker. And he has to play that ball out there. And he's talking to his brother about it, Daniel Ali. And they're having that discussion. And it's good to see them working together. It's always good to have someone who helping out with the decision making, because as you know, in golf, decision making is a critical part of the process. And I'm going to see young Eden Ali now if he can get that out of the bunker and probably rolling down just to the pin, because where the pin position is not as right as it was yesterday. Arguably, people may say it's an easier position, but I believe, again, it's all the other conditions, the pace of the green, the slope of the green, and hopefully young Eden Ali can conquer this one. A very strong shot, a very large explosion of sand coming out there. And it's on the green, which is important. It's probably about 5 yards away from the pin, 3 to 5 yards away from the pin, and hopefully he has a slight uphill putt. He seems to be satisfied, because coming out of a bunker, you always want to be on the green as close as you can. And as we all know, the battle has now started on the green. So we have now Mr. Alex Kang, who is just looking at his line. He will definitely want to have us finish strongly here because of that gully shot. But knowing Alex, he can pick himself up, and when he goes onto the front 9, he definitely could come back very, very strongly. And we have some avid supporters in the commentary booth watching this action at the TNT Open Day 3. And we have our comrade from Antigua now, very balanced stance, rolls it down the green. It's a very good pace actually. And just stops about a couple feet probably away from the hole, and it's a good place to be. That means he was on the green with hopefully a 2-putt. And I'm sure the followers in Antigua will be glad to see him. And now we have young Alex Kangu. He's taking his mark there, and I know he probably be a bit nervous, but he's a strong player. He represented Trinidad and Tobago in the 2021 season, and as a young golfer, I think he definitely can finish strongly. It's a slight uphill putt, and the wind is behind him, so he may get a little extra on the ball. So speed control is critical for this. Very nice roll up the hill, but again, just slight running past. And we heard many of the comments from the players yesterday. The greens are very fast, and that it's something that we have to keep a close eye on when you get onto the greens. That speed control and discipline. And as our commentator said yesterday, patience. It's a game about patience, and hopefully we can keep as much patience when it comes to this part. And we have again Mr. Young Aidan Ali. He's walking around the green just to make sure he understands the contours of the green. And it's a very important lesson for those of you who are locked onto the stream to understand the contours. And if you notice, like just as we see on the PGA Tour, the golfers go through a pre-shot process where they take their time, they look at the contours, they make sure they are focused, they are disciplined, they have proper balance, and all that is important for making this critical stroke. And a nice gentle push towards the hole, and looks like it probably just stopped short. Is it short? And has an easy tap in there now just to finish up. And probably be a bit disappointed, but coming out of the bunker wasn't bad. Yeah, just a little nod of the head from Eden, but that's the game of golf. You always want to make it in one hole, but as least holes as possible. But definitely is something that we want to look at carefully. And our comrades here, they are now sizing up with their putters to try that stroke, and it's probably again just short of the hole. Probably a simple tap in to finish off. And it's a pretty strong finish from the individuals here today. And you can log on to the live scoring at ttgolfassociation.org. ttgolfassociation.org. That's the official website of the TTGA, where you can get the score center, and you can get even the player stats and all the scores from round 1 and round 2, and now for round 3 on the live leaderboard. And I think this is a strong group. They're definitely going on to the front 9 now, and they'll be looking at their scores to see how better they can do on the front 9. And again, we see young Alex Kangu. He's at the ball, and he's now taking his stance. Looks well balanced, a very nice grip, and a player who practices very, very hard. And he pushes the ball and in the hole, and he looks relieved that it went in after that incident of going into the gully. But again, he has a front 9 where he can definitely make up for any mistakes on the back. And welcome back here to the St. Andrews Golf Club in Muka, Maraval, Trinidad and Tobago for the TT Open. Bringing action back here on the hole number 18, where this afternoon the golfers will be coming in to finish off the day. Just have a few more groups to go, and most of the groups are back up on the back nine, and they'll be finishing off this afternoon. Very shortly, we're going to take you to one of our pre-recorded videos and pre-recorded interviews. Our cameraman is trying to find that ball. And did he just land it on the green? What an excellent shot there. I think that's one of the best shots we've seen all day at this late hour in the afternoon. And still, there's some very good golfers out there on the course that we are willing to have streamed live. And you know, I think the enormous skill that these golfers have on display throughout the day over the last few days. And there's another group 2 on hole number 9 coming up, and we'll be taking the action there for some clips. And just now when this golfer there is planning his next shot. And again, such a tricky position to be in. Do we go, for those of you who know St. Andrews Golf Course, do we go across the gully? Do we lay up just before and play it safe? That's the big decision at this point in time, and you really have to be confident. So many golfers throughout the last few days found themselves in the Maraval River, which we were told by Mr. White. And it's a bigger crowd now here at the St. Andrews Golf Club clubhouse, and we have his golfer now. He's waiting. He's positioned himself, looking to come there. A good shot, and he executes, but it's a bit soft, and it's landed just before the gully. Will it hold up? Yes, it did. Very fortunate for him, and the match official, Mr. Paul Ramtran, doesn't have to leave his lunch to go adjudicate on that matter, because thankfully I have been corrected here that the match official is Mr. Sultan Ramcharan. I think that's his screen name. Swinton, sorry. I'm getting confused with the many nationalities of that individual. He's named one way and looks a different way. But those of you all who know Mr. Paul Ramcharan, one of the most knowledgeable persons in golf here in Trinidad and Tobago, very fortunate to have him grace the presence of the commentary booth, or is he just looking for a seat to eat? And coming along late in the afternoon, the sun is very, very bright in the valley here, and very shortly that sun will be setting just behind the mountain. And again, he has to make a very critical decision. Play it safe, but I think for sure he has to attack the green. And a very nice shot there, looks good, just off to the right. Actually, very, very good shot there, landed on the green, and he gets a well-deserved round of applause. 5 feet from the hole, just being informed by the match official, the official measurement there. And we're having some discussions here in the commentary booth with our scoring team after having a good rest. I just want to hail out Mr. Percy Samlal Singh, who's fully recovered now and feeling much better after the last couple of days. And Mr. Kurt Lima. the dynamic duo behind this, the scoring and the live leaderboard. And the man in charge, Mr. Darren Dury. And what an excellent shot there. Oh, and I think the match official will have to come into play. He actually hit the ball. Is that a shot in golf or is it a shot in pool? So the match official, Mr. Paul Ramtran, just jumped off his seat and he has to go make a ruling or advise. And we caught it live on camera. And there we see Mr. Ramtran heading off to make that ruling. And could we get a close-up shot on those two balls on the green? I don't know, probably we should give them some pool sticks to get the ball now into the hole. So this is a very interesting one, on this live stream, and I think that we'll be understanding, where and how to deal with a situation like that. And right, and we saw there that the golfer had to mark the ball and then place it, where he believed the ball was. And you can see from our cameras that the clubhouse is full of people in the veranda looking onto hole number 18, a very entertaining position to be seated on. And we see the golfers here coming off a hole 9, led by Mr. Mitchum Jasper. Plays his golf in the US, but originally from Trinidad and Tobago. And taking you back to hole number 18 now. That was a group of Mitchum Jasper, Zachary Ramsey, and Alfred Robinson in a pro division. And look attentively at the spot, and he pushes the ball using the slope of the green with the hope that it would get you. And very good putt. One of the best spots we've seen all day. In fact, over the last 3 days, being able to judge that slope very accurately, and more importantly, the speed of the ball. I think it's something that the other players and the viewers looking on can really advise. This player sets up to the ball and they'll be able to hopefully get it in. Nice gentle tap and ooh, just rushes past the hole. Probably a bit too hard. And it's always difficult to judge that hole. And just taps it in. And we've just been informed by the match official that that collision with the two golf balls between the players was done correctly and very commendably in fair play and in good sportsmanship. And again, this requires a lot of focus and patience to get it into the hole to finish off the day's play. Pushes it down and in the hole, and a very good putt there. And in fact, this group of players finished up hole 18 has done extremely well to get some very decent putts there and finishing up very strongly. And we have some pros coming down there on hole number 9 with the group with Mr. Talin Rajendranath, Anthony Gill, and Chris Mcmillan. That looks like Anthony Gill. It's in from just behind the gentle slope there. And we see there the golfers getting ready on hole number 18. That's Mr. Jonathan Pigott. And he'll be accompanied by Dwayne Pierman and Joe Hearn. Again, so much decisions to make on this hole number 18 because of the location of the ball. And we're going to switch over quickly to Mr. Talin Rajendranath. He'll be coming over onto green number 9 with the pin slightly to the left of the camera. And there we have Chris Mcmillan now in frame, one of the other pros in this competition. He'll be hoping to get it in the flag. A gentle push onto the green. Hopefully it lands up behind, very close to the hole. And back to Mr. Pigott. Is he behind the tree? He's actually on fairway number 10 and he has about 3 trees in front of him and he goes aggressively over the tree and it lands in the gully just after the bridge on the left hand side. For those of you who know that Marval River running before green number 18, and it's, you know, it's a big decision you have to make at that point. Do I go over the trees or do I punch it through the spaces in the tree? And now we have Mr. Joe Hearn from the US and the cameraman should pick up the ball very shortly. It's a very good shot there, just off to the right of the green. And his comrades there, Mr. Dwayne Pierman from Bermuda and Mr. Jonathan Pigott from Antigua and Barbuda. Want to shout out my fellow Antiguans. I have a couple good friends over in Antigua. Mr. Marcos Franca. Hope you locked onto the stream. And here for this approach shot again. Very composed stance and executes. And we'll be seen very shortly with the ball. And an excellent shot there onto the green. So these pro golfers are living up to their category. It's very, 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 fulfilling to see that ball land onto the green. Now Mr. Pigott, he has some decisions to make. Obviously disappointed in that, but that's a game of golf. It's very tough out there, and he'll definitely have to decide what his strategy is going to be to get onto hole number 18. And the group with Mr. Talin Rajendran, Anthony Gill and Chris Mcmillan, they finished green number 9. And just in 1 second, the cameraman will pick up the ceremonious walk off the golf course. And we see Mr. Chris Mcmillan taking a light jog to catch up to his caddy. And just looking back at hole number 18, we have a match official. I believe from Puerto Rico, has to visit Mr. Pigott to give him some advice what needs to be done. And probably he'll have to drop a ball in a drop zone. See the golfers coming off the golf course now, and they're walking very briskly. They may have to be, I believe they may be playing the back nine now. Are they? And lots of discussion happening there between the match official and Mr. Anthony Pigott. And she actually is going to measure probably a club length or whatever the ruling might be from that position, just to be sure. And that's it's very good to see that fair play being put in practice in this game to maintain the standard of the Open and to ensure that there's no biasness occurring. And we see another group there coming up on green number 9. Perhaps the group from with Richard Gibson, Luke De Freitas, and Christon Batiste, I believe. We'll be able to confirm very shortly. Mr. Pigott, I think he has arrived at a consensus with the match official and just lifts it over the gully, and the ball is just at the top of the concrete staircase. And probably would have wanted to be a bit closer to the green, but I think he's just relieved to get over the Maraval River, sorry, as we were told by Mr. White, a landmark here in North Trinidad. And we see here, I believe that is Joe Hearn. And taking it back to your approach shot on green number 9, I believe that's Mr. Richard Gibson, I believe. Or Luke De Freitas. That's Luke De Freitas. He's in a decent position there to get it onto the green. Takes his stance now. Just pushes it on. And looks a good bounce, but the little slight hill is just blocking the camera view of green number 9. So hopefully we'll probably get this position when he enters the green. And with the players coming around now too. Green number 18. And I've just been informed by our cameraman that they have They have picked up Mr. Ben Martin and his group coming on hole number 18 with Wesley Brown from Jamaica and Chris Richards Sr. On green number 18. See, the golfers really trying to make the correct decision to execute those putts. On that group with Joe Hearn, Dwayne Pierman, and Jonathan Pigott. A very competitive bunch of professional golfers. And just close to the hole, but doesn't make it in that stroke. See Joe Hearn there stepping up to the ball. And, you know, although they seem to be close to the hole, it's always very tricky and they want to make sure that they sink those putts and not miss. Going over to green number 9. But oh my goodness, this golfer seems so disappointed. He dropped to his knees. I hope he's not in tears. But it's the emotion in this game sometimes can get the better of you after working so hard. And back to green number 18. Joe Hearn from the US. And a very nice simple putt. And he gets a round of applause and he appreciates the crowd for their support over this this round, round 3. And you can log on to the scores at ttgolfassociation.org where you see the live leaderboard and you can check the individual player scores as well. Yeah, here we have Mr. Jonathan Pigott. And he sinks that putt, and happily so. And we just want to mention the comments by Mr. Joseph Rennie. And he mentioned here, I have sure a wonderful feeling being able to get a peek at golf in my homeland. And we're very happy to hear that sentiment being expressed. Mr. Joseph Rennie on the Lockdown is a live stream. And you're welcome. You know, we're trying to develop or work with and help develop the game of golf in Trinidad and Tobago. And here we have that group with Mr. Luke De Freitas, Christian Batiste, and now we have Mr. Wesley Brown, I believe, on the ball from Jamaica. He was at our commentary booth yesterday. Cameraman is trying to find the ball there. And is that ball on the edge of the green? What a brilliant shot. How far away do you think that distance is, Mr. Cameraman? About 170 yards, confirmed by our lead scorer, Mr. Kirk Lemma. Now we have Ben Martin in frame, and he's definitely going to try and finish strong on day 3. What a beautiful shot there from the champion golfer, Mr. Ben Martin, and everyone in the commentary booth raises their eyebrows at that shot. Only if we can emulate that shot, Mr. Limmer. And he'll be putting for birdie on number 18, just about 6 feet from the hole. And what a brilliant shot there. And so we may have a strong finish. Mr. Wesley Brown from Jamaica, a strong contender as well. And the third person in this group, Mr. Chris Richards Sr. That's Mr. Wesley Brown there in your frame. And Mr. Chris Richards Sr. walking with another champion golfer, Jada Charles, who's caddying for him today and have excellent opportunity to learn. And what an exciting finish here now at hole number 18. Mr. Wesley Brown, one of our good friends here at the commentary booth from Jamaica. And those locked onto the stream, you're very fortunate to see these pro golfers. They are some of the best golfers in the region. And Mr. Chris Richards Sr. will be joining the frame very shortly. I don't know if we can get a wider shot there, Mr. Cameraman, to get the 3 golfers in the frame. And there we have them. Mr. Chris Richards Sr. on the right with the pink, fuchsia pink jersey. Mr. Wesley Brown from Jamaica with the blue jersey. And Mr. Ben Martin on the left with the white jersey. Gray jersey, sorry. I've just been corrected by my very sharp, well-rested live scorers. So who will it be first? So Chris Richards, is he off the green or is he on the green? Or just on the edge of the green? And he's been cheering on there. He's obviously one of the favorites to do well as well. But it's going to be tough. And he's also one of the top coaches in golf in Trinidad and Tobago. A nice gentle push using the slope of the green to try and get it running down. And he gets a round of applause. And what a great effort. And we see now they're having some discussions among themselves. And it looks like Mr. Wesley Brown with the next shot. And in the far corner, Mr. Ken Ferguson walking across in the red jersey, one of our sponsors for this tournament. And Mr. Brown will have to decide how much speed to put on that ball. And he pushes the ball up the hill. Does it have enough legs to get up? And it goes and almost in the hole. And what an exciting moment there for this group. That was up for a birdie. And he's in all smiles. And I think everyone enjoyed it. Even the members of the Novel Sports Stream team are all on their feet. And that was a birdie attempt, so he'll finish with par. And now it looks like Mr. Ben Martin will step up. who is going for his birdie shot, and I think we can witness some history here. Chances are, if he sinks this birdie putt on day 3, to obviously put him into a very good position for day 4, and he just misses it, and we can see the disappointment there, not by only Ben alone, but the other golfers around him, who obviously are his friends, and definitely a good effort there by Ben Martin. And now we have the next champion golfer, Mr. Chris Richards Sr. I am looking at the shot now, and he's going to take his time. I don't think he's going to rush this. And this is a good example of what the process of putting might be. All his coaching experience is going to come out now, and see if he can get it into the hole on this final number 18 hole. And his caddy just stepped into the frame there, Miss Julia Charles. And let's hope you can see when the ball drops in. Takes his practice swings, makes sure he has the right balance, and pushes it. And he sinks it. And what an excellent shot there by Mr. Chris Richards Sr. And I think they're very happy, you know, by the effort that they put in. And get a round of applause from the crowd. And from this morning, we had a pre-recorded interview with a young golfer, Mr. Aidan Ali, one of the representatives for Trinidad and Tobago. But just before we show that interview, we have some young golfers coming down, and that looks like Mr. Ethan Hill it is. Mr. Ethan Hill, Jean-Marc Chevrolet, Ryan Gomez in the championship flight. And we see in there the Ryan Gomez, it looks like, just behind the tree. He's a fair distance away from number 18 green. This is there his approach shot. And hopefully he's going to make the right decision, whether he's going to lay up just before the Maraval River or take it over the green. And there's Mr. Hayden Hill, Ethan's father, who's been following on the course, giving him some words of advice. And he executes the shot. And we'll be looking for that ball to see where it lands. And it 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and will it hold up? It looks like it just held up. Can we confirm that? And what a great camera work there by our cameraman, Kiva Siobin. Picked up the ball there on the edge. He's safe, but it's going to be a very tricky shot from that position. And we have young Ethan Hill, one of the junior stars of Trinidad. He just took a warm-up stroke there, Mr. Cameraman. And he's practicing his swings, and he's definitely someone who can finish strongly on this hole. And for a youngster, he lines up very patiently. Oh, what a great shot there. Bumping just onto the edge of the green. And he gets a round of applause from the crowd there at the St. Andrews Golf Clubhouse. And now we have in frame Jean-Marc Chevrolet. What a great shot. Straight onto the green. An excellent short game player and wedge player. And normally when I see him, I let him know that he plays very, very attractive wedge shots. Very strong individual as well. able to generate a lot of spin. And there we have a beautiful shot of the three golfers, Ryan Gomez, Jean-Marc Chevrolet, and Ethan Hill approaching hole number 18, coming in for the grand finale here. Yes. See the players there on hole number 9, just finishing up their rounds and walking off. Hopefully, going to have a relaxing afternoon. I mean, it's been a very hot, sunny day. And just want to mention that the caddies here at the Trinidad and Tobago Open look extremely knowledgeable in the game. We see many discussions happening between the players and the caddies, and that is something very good for the game of golf. And taking you back here to the action on hole number 18. He's practicing his swing and trying to plan, because the ball is slightly downhill and he'll have to be very careful how he hits that ball, because it can easily run down into the Maraval River. And young Ethan Hill there looking on. Very good shot there. Must have been a very nervous moment, and runs the ball up to the flag. And definitely is going to get a round of applause for that shot. And he'll be very satisfied with Sir Ryan Gomez with that shot. And there we have the finishing up hole number 18. And they'll be trying to complete this hole in least shots as possible. And Jean-Marc Chevrolet, Ethan Hill, and Ryan Gomez. And Ethan Hill will be the first one to take the ball up from the edge of the green, and his caddy they'll be advising him. Will be advising him what's probably the best spot to hit and the direction, judging the contours of the green. Um, So we see in the finish here at number 18. We see there Jean-Marc Chevrolet pushing the ball up the hill on that slope of hole number 18, and hopefully he will get it in on his next attempt. But some excellent shots there in that group to get it onto the green. And we see the crowd building there at the St. Andrews Golf Course Clubhouse. Looking on at this prestigious event. And Ryan Gomez is next. He's going to step up to the ball now and run it up the hill. He's using a fluorescent green ball. Nice gentle roll, but goes way to the left, well, just off to the left. And he's obviously disappointed in that shot. On top city now just to finish off. And just missed that putt. He'll be very disappointed that he missed. Definitely something he probably would have expected, a little better shot there into the hole. And finishes with his putt there. And now Mr. Young, Ethan Hill is up next. Hope that he can sing this in one without missing the ball, the cup from so close. But again, as we've seen all day, it's a very tricky shot. Pushes the ball and he sinks the putt. And his caddy is very happy with that, and the players congratulate one another on that finish. And again, a very long day, an enjoyable day, I'm sure, for the golfers out there on the course. A very beautiful day. Just taking a view of that landscape there on tee box number 1 at that beautiful mountain ridge that we are seeing, an extension of the northern range on the northern part of Trinidad and Tobago. And when you head off into this picturesque St. Andrews Golf Course, we are nestled in the valley, and that is one of the views that we see looking down. And we now have in picture, I believe that's Shane Costello and his group coming up on hole number 9 to finish up. Coming into frame there, looks like Chris Richards Jr. with his group. Adrian Norford and Zico Correa are the 3 players in that group. They're making their way through their trees. And it looks like Zico is away back. He has to come down Fury number 10, I believe. It looks like Mr. Adrian Norfolk from St. Kitts in frame there. And that's Zico there in the blue jersey coming through the trees. And we have Chris Richards Jr. Is it? Coming into the frame now, and on his right is his competitor, Mr. Adrian Norford from St. Kitts, and I hope that the persons and the viewers in St. Kitts are locked on. That's your representative here at the Trinidad and Tobago Open. And Mr. Chris Jr. is using his rangefinder to get a more accurate measurement, the distance to the green, deciding if he needs to go over the Maraval River, or the gully as we call it. And lots of discussion there between Mr. Chris Richards Jr. and his caddy to make the right decision. And that was a shot there by Zico Correa, I believe. And landing the ball just on top of the concrete steps coming out of the gully. And I don't know if you can get a close. That's the ball there. This is Zico Correa just to the right of the green. And we have now in the frame from Mr. Chris Richards Jr. Sorry, will be attempting his shot. And let's see what he can do, because it's a big decision here now to determine if he's going to go over the Maraval River or late up just in front. And he goes over the river. Lands it on the green. And on the left side of the green, expecting nothing less of him, such a great young golfer. And now we have the golfer from St. Kitts. What an excellent shot there. Mr. Adrian Norford, that is one of the best shots again we've seen all day. Landed just a few feet away from the hole. And congratulations to him. That's your... there are some viewers asking about the St. Kitts players, and this is one of them there. Welcome back, Mr. Ashmead Ali. Locked onto the stream. And the players now will be moving on to the number 18 green. And in the camera here, Mr. Paul Ramchran, one of the match officials, just driving past the commentary booth. A very good work there by our young cameraman. Taking you back now to Mr. Zico Correa. And yes, it was slightly uphill on the green, so it required a little bit of soft running, I would say. Going uphill to make sure it doesn't overshoot too much. Definitely he has the capability to do this, the youngster. A top athlete as well. Very nice push onto the green. And we have now on finishing hole number 9, the group at Shane Costello. And they'll be heading off to take their at the end. Saduma James and Raymond Percival also from St. Kitts in that group. Taking you back on to hole number 18. We have Mr. Chris Richards Jr. who will be attempting the spot. Pushes it with the speed of the green. And an excellent putt and just misses. And definitely you can see the skill there by young Chris Richards Jr. Just taking a quick look at hole number 9. See some golfers coming up on that hole and finishing up the day's play. They have started on the back 9 and finished on the front 9. And we're picking up another group to the back, waiting for that group to finish on the green on hole number 9. Back to hole number 18, where Mr. Zico Correa, young Zico is going to attempt to get this shot into the hole. And he hits it short, a bit short, not very short. And young Zico finishes up there. Final hole for the evening here on day 3. And you can log on to the scores this afternoon at ttgolfassociation.org to get the live leaderboard and the individual player scores. And you can do your own analysis of the game and definitely give your opinions on the live stream of who do you think is going to win tomorrow in the different categories. We've been waiting. We will wait for the official results from the scorers, from the official scorers. And Mr. Adrian Norford from St. Kitts there, finishing off this hole number 18. Takes his time and just rolls it into the hole and is very happy that he finishes off 18. And Mr. Chris Richards Jr. now steps up to the hole, and he should hopefully have a simple tap in. And he misses that shot from so close. Taps it in. I'm sure he didn't expect that, but he congratulates his friends there from the different his comrades who played with him, and a bit disappointed. But that's a game of golf, and you really have to maintain that focus and concentration to make sure you finish strongly. And we'll be taking you all over now to okay. And I was just saying on our frame there with Mr. Wayne Batiste, Mr. Dave Rajkumar, Mr. Derek Charles Gonzalez, and Mr. Mark Newan. Some strong golfers coming in there now. And they look to finish very strongly here this afternoon. And we did tell Mr. Wayne Batiste when he visited us earlier in the commentary that we'll be waiting here for him very patiently. Hopefully he can turn in a good score today. And as he said, it's all about the fun and enjoyment of the game. A grueling 18 holes. And Mr. Mark Newan from Jamaica. In this group together with Wayne Batiste, Derek Charles Gonzalez, and Dave Rajkumar. And we have Mr. Rajkumar there playing from the Point of Pierre Golf Club. He seems to be in the bunker, wiggling just to get that his feet anchored properly into the sand before he executes the shot. Another technique of golf to keep your balance, which is so important. And we are waiting confirmation for where that ball went. And I've just been told by our cameraman that it's safe. It's not in the gully. Is it in the gully? So it's safe. There's a very difficult shot there out of the bunker. So he'll be relieved, Mr. Rajkumar, that it did not go into the Maraval River. What a great shot there, and great work by our cameraman, Mr. Kiva Sigowin. Shooting the ball just out to the left of the pin. And a similar putt there, like Chris Richards Jr., as we saw in the previous group. We have the secret here at the commentary booth with the replay, but I don't think he will have that benefit. And did he overshoot the green? It's in the bunker, and excellent work there again by our cameraman, Mr. Kiva Sigowin, to pick up the ball into the bunker. And I know at one time our cameraman used to play a lot of golf, and I don't know if he's accustomed with bunkers. He seems to be finding them very easily with the camera. And we've been thinking about a nickname for him. Call him Hawkeye. And we see there a shot of the group coming down with Wayne Batiste on the cart. So Dave Rajkumar, Mr. Gonzalez, and Mr. Nguyen making their way to their respective positions for the ball. And there we have Mr. Dave Rajkumar now trying to decide what would be the best shot to play. Mr. Rajkumar is waiting for the greens to be cleared, so he can attempt to get it onto the green there. Takes a look at his watch to get probably a GPS reading. A very good golfer, Mr. Rajkumar, playing out of the Point of View Golf Club. Takes his stance, looks well balanced. And an excellent shot there. And lands on the green and runs up just in front of Mr. Wayne Batiste. He'll be very pleased with that shot. A very, very good strike there by Mr. Dave Rajkumar. After being in a bunker early on. And taking on the action here. And the players on that hole number 18 there, Mr. Dave Rajkumar, Mr. Wayne Batiste, and his companion there, they're going to be finished off this hole pretty soon. And we've just been joining the commentary booth with Mr. Orville Christie from Jamaica. Brings a big smile to his face. And we had some visitors locked onto the stream in Jamaica yesterday and today. So well done, Mr. Christie, today, and hope you have a good day tomorrow. And he's going to bring back some good memories for us. He's talking about Buju Banton. And we're going to welcome Mr. Orville Christie to the mic, to the commentary booth. Mr. Christie, what a privilege to have you here in Trinidad and Tobago. You're one of the pros.
Yeah, man. I feel very elated to be here, you know. Nice place, nice energy, nice people, nice food. Rough golf course.
I think golf is never going to be easy. But that's Mr. Christie. And I think he had a very good day's play today. And, you know, hopefully he'll finish strong tomorrow. So what's the strategy for tomorrow?
Well, for tomorrow, I think I just need to keep them below the hole. This golf course is very unpredictable. The moment you try to attack these pins, then you get yourself in trouble. So tomorrow I'm going to try and see if I can keep them below the hole, and so I can get some more attacking putts at them.
And that's a very sensible way to play, because I think going into day 4, some people may get a bit aggressive and we want to go after the prize. But I think you have to be cautious in your approach. And as you said, we don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow on the greens, where the spin positions are going to be placed. And, you know, we want to make sure that we have a very enjoyable day. And the pro golfers, what do you think about the pro golfers in your group in for this tournament so far?
Well, I must say that we have some really good players here. The likes of Mr. Martin and Mr. Richards, local players. And, you know, these guys know the course very well. And also we have Mr. Wesley Brown from Jamaica, who is giving them a little run for their money. We have a good group of players, and it can go anyway. Because this golf course, the moment you slip, then you could just get into trouble, you know?
Yeah, I think your comrade, Mr. Wesley Brown, was in the commentary booth with us yesterday. And he was very relaxed going into day 3. So hoping that you all will have a very good day 4. And anything you want to say back to your fans in Jamaica?
Well, I just want to big up everybody in Jamaica, you know. We like to represent, you know, we Jamaicans are. Wherever we go, you know, there's a brand and a label, you know. We are just great people, and we try to put that Jamaican energy everywhere. You know what I mean? And then what could be better, you know, Trini Jamaican link up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that even make it polished off, you know?
Yeah. I think you bring back memories. I had some really good experiences back in Jamaica playing cricket for the Vice Chancellor team in 1999. And I was telling someone, attended a Jamaica versus Trinidad football game at the National Stadium there. And it was a very, very enlightened experience to see how patriotic Jamaicans are. And I'll never forget that experience, Mr. Christie. And I know meeting up with a Jamaican from time to time brings back those wonderful memories of Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
So
And I enjoy the vibe here too, man. You know, it's a warm welcome. Every time I come to Trinidad, is nothing less than real vibe and real energy, you know?
That's good. And you bring it to the golf course, and I thought you were a reggae star as you were coming into commentary booth. You're bigging up Buju.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, man, you know?
So do you sing reggae too?
Well, I wouldn't say I sing reggae, you know, but you know, every Jamaican, we know all the songs, and you know, that's how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
We keep moving, you know.
You had to give me a tune.
You want a tune?
You want
All
a
right,
tune?
give me a rhythm. Let me give you a tune. Run a rhythm. Well, right now, you don't know. But there, there's a big up all of the Trinidad and them. So I say, big up all the real people. Big up the golfers, them. You understand? Big up the real man, them in the commentary booth. You understand? Right now, we also want to big up Victor and Energy. You understand? But anyway, me say, I'm in him Arville. I'm here the golfer. This is not my profession. But me I do a liquor thing. Easy!
Jamaican energy in the commentary booth here to finish off the day. And that's what we like in these tournaments, bring the camaraderie between the islands. And I also noticed you wear that tailor-made hat.
Yes,
Is
sir.
tailor-made your favorite
Well,
club of
actually,
choice?
that's my driver.
Very good, very good. Yeah,
I use a Titleist irons, but I like the tailor-made driver.
excellent choice, man. So, Mr. Christie, I want to wish you all the best on day 4. Feel free to pop in tomorrow and bring some of your friends from Jamaica and let us have some more discussions because I think it's very healthy. It's the first time that golf has been live streamed from Trinidad and Tobago, and we also have the live scoreboard going back out. So, all the best, and any last words before you leave?
Well, I must say, thanks to all the Trinidadians who have welcomed us here. I must say, Mr. Wayne Batiste, the president, warm welcome. I've made it a pleasure for us, and we are looking forward to do this again. And every year that we can come, we're definitely going to be here, you know what I mean? And respect for the vibe, and just want to big up everybody at Trinidad. You see me I say? Respect.
Right, Mr. Christie. Thanks again. Have a wonderful evening and all the best tomorrow.
All right, sir. Bless up.
As Mr. Orville Christie, one of the pros taking part in this competition from Jamaica. And you all can see who locked onto the stream. It's very nice to have the visitors, come and share their experiences, share their thoughts on the game. And we have a group coming down, hole number 80 now. I believe, is that who I think it is? Yes, Mr. Ram Singh Budu Singh, out of the Bridgeton Castle Golf Club, just hitting the ball there with the pink jersey, better known as Rambo on the local golf circuit. A very hard-working golfer here, and he plays in a lot of tournaments. He's playing alongside Kisun Gaines and Zane De Silva in the super senior category. And not a bad shot at all, getting it over the Maraval River. I just want to shout out the viewers locked onto the stream. Luis Batiste, thanks for the comments, great guys. And I can't pronounce the other one, but it's W2JTEKNET quality stream. Thanks for the comments. We're trying our best here this late hour in the afternoon after 3 days, and we'll be joining you all tomorrow as well from around 2 p.m. to bring you on to the grand finale of this prestigious tournament. Just finishing up that group. They'll be potting out on hole 18. And a nice roll there onto the green, but you can see just as he was about to hit the ball, the breeze picked up and it looked like it gave the ball an extra few rolls past the hole. Such a delicate balance on the green. And there in our picture, Mr. Ram Singh Budu Singh playing from just behind the green. So finishing up here on hole number 18. And we'll have another group here with Johansson Singh, better known as Haji. Hollis George and Raphael Rose. They'll be coming in here shortly and we'll be picking up their approach shots. See the golfer there, he's preparing himself to go into that shot and he'll have to decide, is he going to attack the green or lay up? Again, one of those many decisions that you have to make on this hole number 18. And he executes that shot there and trying to find the ball. And there we have Mr. Johansson Singh with the great jersey. Well, one of the sponsors here at the TNT Golf Open for SMTL, and has worked with the commentary team in providing a platform for us for being our home for the 4 days of this tournament. A very avid golfer from South Central Trinidad. Seems to be looking down in the gully. I don't know if they're looking to fishing, or his comrade has to drop a ball. Is that Mr. Hollis George? Or is it Mr. Rafael Ruse? A good shot there. The nice soft wedge shot over the marble run, rolls it down to the edge of the green. So what are we? Finishing up the pot on hole number 18, we have Mr. Johansson Singh. Will be attempting this spot now, trying to get this in one. This rolls it gently using the slope of the green and following the ball there just past the hole. And probably a few extra rolls because of that slope. And again, it's a very tough hole to judge because of the contours on the green. Tries again and misses, and he'll probably just tap it in finally. And his friends there, Mr. Hollis George. And Mr. Rafael Ruz will be trying to finish up this hole. A very firm push there into the hole. I'll be very satisfied with that putt. And again, very satisfying. Just before come to a close of today's stream, we have an interview with young golfer Mr. Aidan Ali that was recorded earlier today, and we'll be just sharing this with everyone shortly.
And welcome back again to the Novel Sport Stream booth, where we are doing live streaming and live scoring of the Trinidad and Tobago Open Golf Tournament. Today is day 3, and I am lucky enough to have with me national junior golfer, Mr. Aidan Ali. Aidan, how are you feeling this afternoon?
I'm feeling good. I'm just a bit tired, but that's really it.
Oh yes, it's been quite hot, a bit draining, so yes, I know it's quite different, the conditions, the weather from the previous few days. How you feel going into tomorrow?
No fear, just go and play. I already didn't play good the first 3 days, so want to have fun.
No fear, have fun. I love that mantra. I think that's the recipe for success. So, you know, I'm curious, Aidan, being a very good golfer, junior golfer, it must be a challenge to, you know, mix that in your schoolwork and so on. How has that, how have you been able to manage, being such a champion golfer as well as, you know, staying in school?
Oh, well, just even it out. School, golf, just golf.
I thought I heard a little bit more golf there than schoolwork. Yeah?
It was more school than golf.
It's more school than golf, yeah, man. So would you encourage any of those youngsters to join this sport?
Yes, I would encourage everybody to try it out.
And what about in your family? Are you the only golfer?
No.
And who else do you have playing with you?
My brother, my uncle. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's all you know. So it's a family affair, and that's really great. So, Aidan, really happy to have you here this afternoon. I know it's been a long day. Go ahead and get some rest, and we're looking forward to see you on the course tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
And taking back action here at hole number 18. See Mr. Taku Ramna just fired a shot, and we'll await waiting confirmation for that ball went. This Mr. Taku Ramnath, he is passing our camera there in the fuchsia pink jersey and white pants. There we have Mr. Ramnath. We're looking to find his ball. And we have Mr. Ramnath in the frame. Waiting confirmation. Did Mr. Ramnath ball go into the Marval River? And we have a nod of affirmation from our young cameraman. And he looks a bit disappointed because Mr. Ramnath played with him in a tournament earlier this year. And he was very inspirational to sharing some very good information with him. And he comes out of the Point Up here Golf Club as well. And lots of action on this Marval River. So he has to take a drop, and the match official there is right by his side supervising. And hopefully give him correct ruling. So I'm sure he can finish strong. I often refer to Mr. Ramnath as a Phil Mickelson of local golf. Has to go pretty confident with the shot. A very nice soft shot to get it over and onto the green. And he did his best there to get it over and out. And I think a little bit of encouragement will help him to finish strongly. And there we have finishing up on hole number 18, the group with Mr. Thakur. And joining us shortly for an interview will be Mr. Jean-Marc Chevrolet, excellent young golfer. Mr. Thakur Ramnath pushes the ball up the hill on the green. Oh, and stops just short of the hole. What an excellent attempt there, but unfortunately did not fall in. And definitely something that he'll be looking forward to next time.
Check one, check one.
Just finishing up hole number 18, that group there. One more pot. Pushes it in and just past the hole. And we have our Untap sitting. And the players congratulate one another and share in the camaraderie of the prestigious TTOpen. And now joining us on the field correspondent, Mr. Darren Dure with young Jean-Marc Chavroté.
Thank you, Dwayne. And yes, we are once again very privileged to have the youth coming and sharing their experience and knowledge with us. We have national junior golfer Jean-Marc Chavroté. Jean-Marc, how are you doing this afternoon after your day of golf?
You know, I'm not doing too bad. The course played challenging today. I really thought I would have had a better finish than what I had. But, you know, this is golf, and we always expect the best. Sometimes we don't get the best. But I'm really honored to be able to take part in the Trinidad and Tobago Open. You know, it's a prestigious event, and one that counts towards national selection. And even though my performance over the last 3 days was not up to scratch, I reckon that tomorrow will be a good day.
Of course, tomorrow will always be a better day, Jean-Marc. And you mentioned, you know, the tournament leading up towards your national performance. Can you give us a sense as to how you would have represented Trinidad and Tobago, both locally, internationally, and regionally, if so?
Yes, so I made the junior team for the last 3 years straight. This year, once I make it, God's willing, will be my last year, seeing that I'm 18. I also made the senior team for my first time last year, and that was an honor. It was really amazing being able to play with, you know, the other senior players from the other Caribbean countries, and the opportunity to play beautiful golf courses as well. National duty definitely is something different to playing regular golf. You learn a lot, you meet a lot of new people, and as I mentioned, you know, the golf courses are beautiful. Some of the best golf courses in the world we get to play.
Wow, sounds like fantastic experiences, and so much experiences for just someone at, you know, the ripe young age of 18. Now, that being said, it means that school is also part of your agenda. How are you able to manage, you know, your schooling as well, all of this fantastic work that you're doing in golf?
Yeah, that's definitely true. School is quite difficult right now, but you know, like everything else in life, golf is a game of life, and being able to find the balance is really important. So right now, I'm doing lower six right now at UE. Right after that, I'm probably going to do 1 year, and then I'm looking to head out to college to play Division 2, possibly Division 1 golf. That's on the agenda for the near future, you know?
Well, that's brilliant. We will definitely be looking out for you in those international scenes. So, Jean-Marc, any parting words for future golfers in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, this is a game of patience, and today is not tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Jean-Marc. Today is not tomorrow. Back to you guys. Yeah, buddy, that was perfect.
Thanks, Mr. Dure there for that interview. And now we'll be taking you back action to the last group there are going to finish off on hole number 18. And we're getting ready to sign out here for this live stream at the TNT Open in day 3. And just before we want to sign out, just want to mention the sponsors who came on board to make this possible. Ashmid Ali Contracting Services, Ashnad Foundation, the SRF Auto Repair Service, Online Valves Limited, Let's Learn Golf Tobago, Eden Cape Properties Limited, Treasure Chest, Kennicon Engineering Limited, Solar World TT, DS Movers Limited, Builders Incorporated Limited, Evergreen Designs, Beyond Paint, Building HSC Limited. And bringing a close now to this afternoon's live stream and commentary. And the players have displayed very, very good sportsmanship today in closing off hole number 18 here at St. Andrews Golf Club, Mocha Maraval. And you can see the celebrations and the camaraderie there at the St. Andrews Golf Clubhouse. And signing off here from the Novel Sports Stream team at the Trinidad and Tobago Open 2022, the 114th edition. We urge you to stay locked on tomorrow from about 2 p.m. where we will continue the live stream, and probably the most exciting day tomorrow with the day 4 with everyone competing for the prizes in this tournament. So all the best everyone, and have a good evening, and definitely look forward to seeing everyone again. Good afternoon.